You'll remember that last week, pardon me, almost done with this salsa. Last week we made a 4-character party of the native races to Eberron. This week we're making a 5-person party exploring Dragonmarks. As we did not randomly roll for someone to get feats yet. One of the feats you can take in the Eberron campaign setting is a Greater Dragonmark. This character will have that at least one feat. So we will have a Dragonmark race. We will make it a Greater Dragonmark, and as we didn't roll up naturally the special house agent background for Eberron, we will be giving that background to this character and exploring the personality traits, bonds, flaws, etc. So up here, house agent, and there we go. We already know what that is. This salsa leaves a nice smoky burn on the tongue. Really good. Very good stuff. Goes well with the light, the very light salt of the tortilla chips. Let's roll percentile. Female, male, or multi-class. 21. We finally have a female in the group. D10 for race. 1. Another dwarf. Okay. Now, you know what? I'll still do it as if we're doing this character for the first time, in case anyone new out there is watching. Even, so this would be another hill dwarf. We made a hill dwarf as our very first character this week. Now, the hill part isn't going to stick around for too long, and you'll know why shortly. So we have a female hill dwarf of the alignment 8571. We have a chaotic evil female hill dwarf. Which means, well, if we roll paladin, we could go oathbreaker, or if we roll cleric, there's a chance that we can go death. We are generating her at level, let's see, 34 is level 8. While we would normally get 2 stat bumps, we know at least one of them is going to be a feat. However, let's roll to see if both of them will be a feat. 54, nope. Okay, so we're going to take 1 stat bump, which is 2 to 1 ability score, or 1 to 2 ability scores. And we'll take this Greater Dragonmark feat. We already know her background is as a house agent. So, skipping along, we're going to roll our big golden D12 to figure out what class she will be playing. 6, a monk. And specifically, let's generate a 3-sided die. Ooh, another Way of Shadow monk. Okay. A little bit more here. Oh, a little too far. Dwarves, hill dwarves start at 3'8". We're going to add 2d4 to her height. We're adding 5 inches. So she is 4 feet 1 inch tall. We're going to take that 5 and multiply it by 2d6 by 5. And we're going to add 25 pounds to her base weight of 115. And so she weighs 140 pounds. Sorry, I have some tortilla chips, like a little bit of tortilla chips stuck in my tooth, or in between my teeth. Don't you hate it when that happens? Because then you just find yourself like you're trying to go for it, but of course you have friends or family that are over, or you're talking on the phone, and oh my gosh. And now let's roll her age. With a 94, ooh, she's not quite ancient, but she is venerable. I guess we have like a Granny Sonata ninja here. So this is probably her last adventure. Venerable for a dwarf is between 301 and 350 years old. So we're going to generate a 50-sided die and roll it. 45. She is 345 years old, and dwarves don't live much longer than that. Yes, a hill dwarf monk, although the hill portion won't stick around for too long. Uh, 2d8 for personality traits, 3 and a 4, and then 3d6 for ideal bond and flaw. We have a 5, 2, 3. There we go. We're finished with this random number generation, but there's a little bit more to do in inside of our Wayfinder's Guide to Eberron. Let's see. We are going to background. Here we go. Remember, we addressed the background of the characters first. And there's a couple extra things, not just a background, but we're also going to give this character either a regret or a debt to start with. And maybe even something to do with a military background. We'll take a look at that and see. Background. Here is an important background for Eberron. Pretty straightforward, right? You have sworn fealty to a Dragonmarked house, one of the mighty mercantile guilds that shapes Corvair. If you possess a Dragonmark, you're likely a member of one of the influential families within the house. Otherwise, you're an outsider who hopes to make your fortune by allying with this great power. Your primary task is to observe, gathering useful information, and serving as the eyes of your house. But you could be called upon at any time to act as a hand of the house. And so look, we rolled up a ninja. Does this sound appropriate? Such missions can be dangerous, but they'll surely be lucrative. Our skill proficiencies with this background are investigation and persuasion. Tool proficiency. 2 tools by house. Hey, imagination, hello! We are house. Dun, 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 dun. The dwarven house is... Oh, come on. Ah, Kundarak. So we are going to get proficiency with Tinker's Tools and Thieves' Tools. Actually, we'll even put down here Kundarak, House Agent. Equipment. We will get a set of fine clothes. a house signet ring, ID papers, and a purse containing 20 gold pieces. Roll. You are always gathering information for your house, but when the barons come to you with a specific mission, what sort of work do you usually do? Choose your role or roll on the table below. So we will roll a d8. Yep, this is the final week to that we're delving into Eberron things. So we're going into the Eberron specific background, the character background. Roll 1d8, and it looks like she is normally covert operations. How awesome does this work? Not only for the Way of Shadow Monk, which is a shadow dancer and ninja, but the fact that the dwarven house is thievy. They open locks. It's bless RNG, bless RNG. You know, as much as people are like RNG on Twitch, we love it here. Look at what just happened. All right, so our house agent roll is 8. Covert operations. Our feature is house connections. As an agent of your house, you can always get food and lodging for your friends at a house enclave. When the house assigns you a mission, it will usually provide you with necessary supplies and transportation. Beyond this, you have many old friends, mentors, and rivals in your house, and you may encounter one of them when you interact with house business. As a Lerandar agent, you may know the captain of an airship. As a Galanda agent, you know a lot of innkeepers and bartenders. The degree to which such acquaintances will be willing to help you out will depend on your current standing in your house. Now let's look at the personality traits. Specifically, for our character, we have number 3 and 4. We can zoom in a little bit here, so you all can read beyond just what it is that I narrate for the character, if you're curious. All right, personality trait number 3. I share trivia about my house's business, medicine, ships, warforged, etc. I share trivia about my house's business. And number 4, I hold myself and anyone I work with to extremely high standards. Her ideal is number 5. Discovery. I want to learn all I can, both for my house and for my own curiosity. Her bond is number 2. I love someone from another house, but such relationships are forbidden. Ooh. And lastly, her flaw is number 3. Oop. I believe that my house and bloodline makes me better than everyone else. Well, easy to express when you are a chaotic evil character. Now, there's a little bit more background info that we're going to get on her, okay? Our Dragonmark appearance, well, every time we use our Dragonmark, it is going to have a quirk of some kind. So our Dragonmark quirk on a D6 is going to be 2. Dragonmark 2. Dragonmark quirk 2. Your Dragonmark slowly moves around your body. Ooh. Okay. Well, hey, if you're doing covert operations, and someone's like, "Oh yeah, you want the lady?" Someone's after you, and a witness is giving testimony, and you say, "Yeah, the lady had a dragon mark. The lady had a dragon mark on her forearm," and you lay low for a week, and it suddenly drifted down to your hand. Suddenly, are you the same person? All right, now we are going to roll. Odds or evens to give her a regret or a debt on the side of anything else she's doing. Let's roll a d12. Evens, she has a debt of some kind. There are 10 different debts. Let's figure out which one it is. Debt number 8. Roll again. It's not your debt. It's your. Oh, there's a misspelling. Whoop whoop whoop. We can report it to wizards. It's your lover's problem. Can you solve the problem before they have to face the consequences? And we're rolling again. Okay, so it's 8 and 9. Or wait, no, hang on. 8. No, I'm sorry. That's on the roll of a 10. I thought we were rolling a d8. I did hit a d10. It's a d10 chart. I read the last one because I was expecting to go to 8. I'm sorry. So instead, 8 is you've got a price on your head. Oh my. Maybe we got caught flirting with this other house. Debt 8. You've got a price on your head until you settle things with House Tharashk. You'd better keep an eye out for bounty hunters. Now, interestingly enough, we have our barbarian has the same debt. And I believe also, that's a regret. Yes. So Lucorlio Decivis here. Our warlock, scribing gnome, has the same. So we have 3 characters in our party are being actively hunted by the bounty hunting house. You want campaign material, DMs? Here it is. Here it is. Being a house agent, I don't think we partook in the military in the last war because we were doing our house's bidding. Behind the lines, I think, given her profession. All right, so here's the background, the mentality, the thought process to this character. She conveys herself in a spontaneous, selfish way. That's a fancy way of saying chaotic evil. It doesn't mean she has to go and burn down orphanages to be chaotic evil. She is spontaneous and she is selfish. It's probably why she wants to pursue love outside of her house, even though it's a big old taboo. And probably also why she shares trivia about her house's business. She wants to play the info game. She wants to strategize. She's been sent on a mission, but she knows that she's more in control. Let's see. That was our background. Now it's time to go to our race. Easy enough. We were a hill dwarf. Well, we're a dwarf. A hill dwarf? Maybe in looks. But that's about it when it comes to Dragonmarks. So what happens? Our constitution goes up by 2. We are a medium creature that moves 25, 12, 12, 0. We do get 60 feet of dark vision. We get resistance to poison damage and versus being poisoned. And we have Dwarven combat training. Battle and hand axe. That's a light or a throwing hammer and a war hammer. And this is an important interaction because monk will give us all simple weapons and we get our martial arts and a short sword. We can use a warhammer as a monk. Now we don't get we can't use dex with it because it's not a monk weapon. But there's nothing that would keep us from rolling up on someone as a strength-based monk and using a warhammer if we really wanted to. Or a battle axe. Think of that. You gain proficiency with the artisan's tools of your choice. Smith's tools, brewer supplies, or mason's tools. Well, if she grew up in this dwarven house, she was probably given proper dwarven training. That did include her tinker tools and thieves tools, as per the flavor Eberron gives this dwarven house. However, she was probably taught something else on the side. And, I don't know, probably if she knows tinker tools and thieves tools, Smith's tools are often just larger versions. We're also going to get stone cunning to be able to detect various historical tidbits about worked earth and stone. And our languages are Common and Dwarven. Okay, subrace. You have 2 main subraces. That is normally correct. However, your Dragonmark takes the place of your subrace as a dwarf. Which means we come over to the Wayfinder's Guide, and let's come back over. We have the mark. There we go. Is it? No, it's not the Mark of Sentinel. Mark of Warding. This is what the Dwarven household gets. So instead of a hill dwarf, I mean, we are in appearance, but if you want to say that we're a warding dwarf, or we're a Dragonmark dwarf, or something along those lines, or we're a Kunderic dwarf, that would be appropriate per the label. Though we have characteristics of being a hill dwarf, it's just overshadowed by our Dragonmark. And by the way, what's really nice is that our other represented house, House Civis, we have Lucorlio is a member of that house, being a scribing gnome. Okay, our dexterity increases by 1 per our subrace or our Dragonmark. How nice is that for a monk? We also are going to get Master of Locks. When you make a history, investigation, or thieves tools check involving lock and trap mechanisms, you can roll an intuition die, a D4, and add the number to the roll rolled to the ability check. You do not need to be proficient to do this. You just get it as a bonus. As well, we get what's called wards and seals. You can use your mark to cast the alarm spell as a ritual. Starting at 3rd level, you can cast Arcane Lock once with this trait, and you regain the ability to do so when you finish a long rest. Intelligence is your spellcasting ability for these spells. So we're getting intrinsic spellcasting, and how nice is that for a Wave Shadow Monk? Alarm or Arcane Lock. Which, let's see, if we look at Street Rat here, we have Mark of Warding as a first level spell. And then we have Arcane Lock as a second. Okay, now we should explore. Since we finished our race, and we're here already. Let's take a look at the feat that we're taking, called the Greater Dragonmark. Hey, Tin Cat, good to see ya. The Greater Dragonmark feat represents the evolution of a Dragonmark, an exceptional, it's an exponential increase in the mark's size and the powers it carries and bestows. Only a fraction of Dragonmarked heirs ever develop a Greater Dragonmark. The powers they possess are more powerful than the wide magic that serves as the foundation of the magical economy. Teleportation, instant communication across vast distances, these services are rare, remarkable features of the Dragonmarked houses. Having a Greater Dragonmark doesn't automatically give a character greater status, but it does make that character a valuable tool for the house. When you acquire a Greater Dragonmark, talk with the DM and decide if you want your relationship to your house to change. Do you want to work more closely with them? Do you want to get involved with family politics? Do you want to explore a story in which the house puts pressure on you, or would you prefer to remain independent? And here we go. Our prerequisite is 8th level, and it just so happens that we are 8th level, and we do possess a Dragonmark. Your Dragonmark has grown in size and power. This enhances your existing Dragonmark, and the benefits are based on the Dragonmark you currently possess. A Greater Dragonmark provides the following benefits. The die type of your Dragonmark intuition die increases by 1. So a D4 goes to a D6. Hey, 12 for 10. Increase one ability score by 1 to a maximum of 20. The abilities available to you are based on your mark, as shown on the Greater Dragonmark benefits table. You learn a set of spells, each of which you can cast once without expending a spell slot or using a material component. The list of spells, the spellcasting ability for them, and the type of rest you must complete to regain the use of these spells are shown in the Greater Dragonmark benefits table. To cast Liamon's Secret Chest, using this feat and the Mark of Warding, you must have a Sybaris Dragon Shard with a value of at least 100 gold pieces. While you have this Dragon Shard in hand, it serves as the spell's focus, and you can use it to summon and dismiss the chest. Tin Cat, yes, Dragonmarks are interesting. For many of the races, they replace the sub-race that you would normally be, and for those who don't have sub-races, it turns into a variant race altogether. Alright, we have the Mark of Warding, so we're all the way at the bottom. True, might be a little difficult. So we can increase dexterity or intelligence by 1. Let's see. Probably wouldn't hurt to bring up our intelligence some. I mean, yeah, we could go up in dexterity, and push that and have 2 dex, 2 con. Almost like a mountain dwarf with strength, right? 2 strength, 2 con. But our granny's really smart. Oh, I'm sorry, pardon me. So let's put the 1 in intelligence. I'll try and zoom in and see if I can't show you where this stuff is here. Alright. The spells that we can cast now Our knock, glyph of warding, Liamun's secret chest. We cast off intelligence, and we need a long rest. In order to get them back. Let's hop over here real quick. See what level these spells are. Knock is a 2nd level spell. Knock. And this is from Greater Dragonmark. What else? Glyph of warding, Liamun's secret chest. Glyph of warding is 3rd. And Liamun's secret chest is 4th. Okay, look at this. We're getting some really good magic. Anything else? Okay, that's what we get for our feat in taking the Greater Dragonmark. And you can see how each of the marks has an expanded set of spells you can cast. As well as a stat bump. Oh, alright, Tin Cat. Well, happy birthday to her. Looks like the asterisk down here for Liamun's secret chest is what this little phrase up here is indicating. You must have the Sabirus Dragon Shard. Ooh, pardon me. Must have Sabirus Dragon Shard. At least 100 gold. There we go. So congratulations, we're a dwarf, but specifically we are a warding dwarf of House Kandaric. Now let's go over to the players. And go to classes, Monk, which we should be familiar with. We made away a Shadow Monk last night. 8th level, we're going to get all this good stuff right here. Oops, this is... I put the move speed in the hit die. 12, 12, 0. We are a D8 hit die class, and we're level 8, so we have 8 D8 hit die to spend. No, oh, pardon me. No armor proficiencies, but we do get proficiencies with all simple weapons and short swords. Choose a type of artisan's tools or a musical instrument. Well, she already knows 3 different... Well, she knows an artisan tool of smith's tools, tinker tools, and thieves. She'd probably then be good with some kind of an instrument. Strength and dex are our skills. And we get to, our saving throw proficiencies. Then as a skill, we get 2 proficiencies from acrobatics, athletics, history, insight, religion, and stealth. Let's see. What would be a good mix? Believe my house and bloodline make me better. That's probably a history. Covert operations, that's probably stealth. So there we go. I think we are a history stealth. There we go. And if you think differently, please let me know. You're welcome to do so. She will probably take the short sword. Explorers? Because dungeoneering? It's in Sharn. Nah, Explorers is probably going to work better. I think she'd want to keep more food on hand. Oh, and 10 darts, by the way. So we have martial arts. Oh. My finger slipped. Sorry about that. Dart X10. Short swords are 1d6. Martial arts are probably d6s at this point. Darts are 1d4. Pardon me, our martial arts are in fact a d6 at this level. Piercing, bludgeoning, and piercing. We do have unarmored movement of an extra 15 feet, which brings us up to 40. So therefore, 20 climb, 20 swim, and 0 fly. We're going to cook her some steak with baked potatoes and corn. Ooh, man. That does... Good man, Tin Cat. I hope she appreciates it. There's our martial arts. So for a class, we're going to get key. There's initially 3 things you can do with key, but I'm going to leave room because I'm looking a bit ahead, and there's actually going to be a 4th. Flurry of blows. Patient defense. Step of the wind. Do what you gotta do, Pat. Enjoy. Our monastic tradition, we'll get there. It's Wave Shadow. So what else are we getting until we hit level 8? Deflect missiles. ASI, we're going to take 1. Slow fall. Here we go. Stunning strike. key empowered, so it's 1d6 plus X magical bludgeoning. Evasion, and finally, yeah, Purity Body's a little too high. So then we get Stillness of Mind. Monastic Traditions, dun, 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 Way of Shadow. We are going to get Shadow Arts. By the way, we have 8 key points at this level. We are going to know the cantrip. And then the other spells we get are they're all level 2 spells. Shadow Arts. "60 feet, that's Shadow Step." Yeah, Darkness, Dark Vision, Pass Without Trace, and Silence. So Shadow Arts, I'm going to copy this 4 times. I thought it was 3 spells. You get 4 spells out of it. Although we don't need Dark Vision ourselves, we can grant it to someone else who could use it. Darkness. Oh, come on. And finally, what was the last one? Silence. We will then gain the ability, which, by the way, these are 2 key points each. Technically, we get those first. Maybe the Dragonmark. I mean, it's Monk Wave Shadow. I don't know if it's really a source per se, though. And anything that's different, we already have labeled, so I think we're good there. That's pretty good, right? I think that looks good. Especially given all the cool stuff we're going to do when we're a monk, just kind of, dancing around in the shadows and doing all this sneaky stuff. Yeah. All right, let's drop some scores in. I think we're looking at a 15 dex. Maybe a 13... a 14 whiz. Let's give her a 12 con. 13 int. 15, 14, 13, 12. She's not the strongest. She does have a face. Is it a particularly good one? Eh. I think this fits her personality. All right, with all the bonuses, con to 14. It's going to also help represent how she lived to be so old. Oh, what happened there? 14, 13, 12, 10, 8. 8, 10, that was the 12. Yeah. And then we get one stat bump from level 4, because we used our level 8 stat bump to take the Greater Dragonmark feat. We should probably make her even a little bit more dodgy. There we go. Hey, Bubonic. That's going to give the saving throw. Let's zoom out real quick. At level 8 is, let's see, 3 proficiency. So that's going to be a 2 minus 1. Oh, come on. There we go. That's going to be 4s. And 0s down the line except for Persuasion from our Dragonmark, which gets a +3 for being proficient and a D4 on top of that. Yeah, how about that? Initiative is a dex check, so it'll be a 4. Armor class, well, being a monk, we look at dexterity and wisdom. So this is a 4 and a 2 is 6, so we have 16. Passive persuasion of... Current hit points, you get your maximum at first level, and then for the other 7 levels, it's half +1 of your hit die, so it's 5 on an 8. And then every level, so all 8, we multiply 8 times your Constitution modifier. So we have 16 with, we have 24, and that'll be 35. Okay. To hit, as all of these can be dex-based weapons, because we're monks, 4 + 3 is a +7, +7, +7. Okay, minor illusion. We don't have spell slots, but we do have key points, but that's already filled in. And you know what, everyone? We have our Greater Dragonmarked Dwarf, Way of Shadow, like a ninja, whose objective is to lurk on behalf of her house. However, maybe she's being called out of retirement or something, because this is probably going to be her last mission given her age. She will naturally not live longer for another, I don't know, 6 years or so. Seems to be when we hit that maximum, for a dwarf anyway, since she is rocking 345. Cool. Dun, 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 dun. We did it. I hope you enjoyed it. We now have 5 Dragonmark characters that we can talk about and that we'll bring together in tomorrow's campaign, or in tomorrow's theme, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get up, take a little walk for about 10 minutes, drink some water, get things moving and grooving again. And when we come back, we're going to take a look at the campaign setting, specifically the city of Sharn, not just Eberron as a whole, or Corvair as a continent. Okay, so hang in there. We have this character going, and it'll be time to then delve back into the Wayfinder's Guide and see what it tells us about our campaign location.